My party panel is back. It's Julie Roginsky, Tom Baker, or Mike Baker. Unless did you guys wed in the break? It's Mike Baker and Tom Shillue.
We had a hard time deciding whose last name we were going to take.
We can now. We
Shillue Baker
wanted to.
Yeah, you could. You absolutely could.
Congratulations,
exactly
you guys.
Right. Thank you very much.
That's great. No. All right. So, Tom Shillue, who would you rather go on vacation with of these people?
Well, probably Gary Johnson.
Come on.
I've kind of been
Gary
vacationing with him, you know, if it counts. After the show, hanging around, we had brownies. Really? They were fantastic. Yeah.
Did they give you the giggles?
No, he really didn't. I mean, I don't want to. But he probably had some edibles with him at the time.
Try a little Tupperware?
Yeah. But yeah, he'd be fun to hang out with. But I'm not surprised that Trump won.
Yeah.
He seems like a fun guy to hang around with.
Okay, now, last night my daughters love playing Would You Rather, and so they give me two scenarios, and they're always ridiculous. So last night, one of the scenarios was, would you rather Donald Trump give you $1 million or an apple farm? And I said, an apple farm. I don't know why, but it just seemed like pie is delicious.
You know, your kids are only a year away from changing that to who would you do.
Oh, no.
They're just like, they're all just on the cusp.
The apple farm.
No.
Yeah, well,
they're innocent
I don't know why I
beings.
said that.
Apple farm. And
Yeah.
then they said, who would you rather go on vacation with? They asked this very question. And I said, Donald Trump. And my daughter was like, why? And I said, he's got his own helicopter.
Yeah.
And
he knows how to land.
Right.
Like, you can take the plane somewhere super far away and then the helicopter just to puddle jump to the Maldives or something.
But he's on the plane. That's the problem. It's not like he's giving you the plane, right?
Maybe he's going to meet you there. You know, so you
Gary
got some
Johnson
time.
loaned you the Tupperware before you go on vacation with Donald Trump.
No question, Gary Johnson. Why is nobody? How is he
no.
gonna
I'm fully on board with Gary Johnson. First of all, it's not going to be Hillary.
Wouldn't she be the worst?
Oh my God! And then. But that you could say that for both of the top, to the top winners on this. But Gary Johnson, yeah, I mean, to be fair, he brings his own weed. He's, by all counts, a fun guy.
He does
interesting conversations, does triathlons.
Expert
yeah, I don't even see how did he end up with only 16%.
Here's the problem: Hillary would make you read
know.
a briefing book on the beach when you're trying to read like James Patterson. She's making you read like. I
would be reading Jackie Collins, God rest her soul.
God rest her soul.
Well, amen. If you've ever thought to yourself, hey, millennials sure aren't having much sex, it turns out you're right. A new study from the Journal Archives of Sexual Behavior finds that younger millennials are more than twice as likely to be sexually inactive in their early 20s than previous generations. Boomers and Gen Xers, they were going at it way, way harder. I think this is going to lead to depopulation. I think that this is actually a bad sign for society.
Yeah, well, they said there was no magic in it. That's what was interesting about it. When actually, it's one of the only magic things left is sex, because you know
magic to it, right?
there is magic. When you have
romantic.
you make a life. That's magic.
That part. Yeah.
That part, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when there's magical feelings,
but every time you have sex, you don't make a.
Well, maybe in your house.
For some
maybe in your house.
You know, I'm Catholic.
Yes, I understand.
So
yes,
we,
I get it.
you know,
right.
we go for it.
Is it a good or a bad sign? Are they too prudish?
No, look, my daughter is 22. I'm fully on board with the study. I think it's wonderful, and I also think it points to something else. I have noticed this from her and her friends. Okay, maybe not a massive sampling for this survey, but. They're thoughtful. They're very thoughtful, and they tend to be, and maybe it's sort of a reaction to the generation just ahead of them. Yeah. They tend to be a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit more thoughtful about their actions and the things they're going to do.
Maybe you really think your daughter's telling you the truth about how thoughtful she's being at the age of 22? Is that what you want her to believe?
Maybe they're very cautious, though.
Definitely not doing this.
Maybe this generation, especially younger millennials, maybe they're too cautious because they have been bubble wrapped and helicoptered their entire lives.
Maybe they should get off the Snapchat and go meet some real people. You can't have sex on the Snapchat. I mean, maybe you can, but it's not real.
You're not.
Anthony Weiner know that?
You're not going to get knocked up like Tom Shillue wants you to on Snapchat.
I think the reaction to hookup culture, it's kind of gross to them.
Right.
You know, so
that's what I was trying to say.
They've been overloaded, and it's and
they're worried their partners have been overloaded.
Yes.
With microbes.
And porn. Guys watch porn. Oh, yes. So they don't.
There's another study where younger men who watch too much pornography have a hard time with
exactly.
Yeah, because they're exhausted in other ways.
Well, plus also I think their expectations are bizarre, and you know, and
it's perfection too much to ask, Mike.
Well, and magic, the magic of a relationship, of meeting somebody, and the excitement of I've just met somebody, and then that whole process of a courtship and everything. So that part of it is the magic. I think that's true.
That's the alchemy is what's missing. But don't worry about it, because children can have different outlets, including the number of children attending Privately managed, publicly funded charter schools, that has increased from 800,000 in 2004, exploded actually, to 2.5 million in 2013, just in 9 years, a threefold increase. But families homeschooling, that is on the rise as well, almost equal numbers. Would you homeschool your kids, Mike Baker?
No, because I think a big part of growing up at an early age is the socialization process.
Yeah.
And it's the same reason why you want them to play sports, not because you're trying to raise Olympians, but you want them to have to deal with real life situations.
Well, to push back on that, there are club sports and you know, in most cities across the country, and homeschooling is very different now, and there are social groups of homeschoolers who, you know, not only get together to do homework, but you know, they go out and play.
My favorite part of the week is 8 a.m. Monday morning when I drop my son off in preschool, and I get to come to work, and I get to sit back like this.
And that's a sleepaway preschool, right? You don't pick him up until Friday.
It's boarding school. It's great. Yeah. Comes back.
Little 4-year-olds who ride horses.
I know, right? It's great. He's a great equestrian.
They put their parents' cocaine.
Could you? I would kill myself.
Yeah.
24/7?
Well, I just think...
Talking about algebra?
Yeah, who could
but he's
spell
4.
algebra?
I mean, he's brilliant. Your son is already doing algebra, so we should
Clearly,
point that out.
Quantum physics, that's true.
I think it's good because I think we need to expand the number of school choices we have in this country. I think we are so limited with this 18th century Prussian factory model that is so outdated and does such a great disservice, and this one-size-fits-all nonsense does anything but nurture blossoming brains.
That's true. And so the army of homeschooled kids is, you know, that's going to create competition with the schools, because every homeschool kid I ever met is brilliant.
Yes.
Now, that's, if everyone were homeschooled, that wouldn't be the case. It's just that the people who homeschool their children tend to be very smart, and they
also specialize in areas.
That's a broad brush statement. I've also met some homeschooled students who have made their way through, and they're less so.
So you're saying they're mouth-breathing troglodytes, and we should beware of them.
I'm not saying gormless. I'm just saying less so than brilliant. I mean, I think it's horses for courses. It's like sending a kid away to boarding school.
I've never heard that term. I don't even know what that means.
But it's like when you send a kid to boarding school. Some kids thrive in it, some kids don't. Some kids thrive, and it depends, like you said, on who's doing it and the parents and how motivated.
Who's better at sizing up their child and understanding what they need than their parents?
The government.
And it isn't. Homeschooling isn't. A lot of people think it's just kids sitting at home with their parents learning, but they do have these cooperatives. They get together once a week. They have a lot of their work. They work together.
Tom Shillue knows he's a secret hippie, and I love it.
But it's not the same. It's not the same. You don't have that social interaction.
It's not the same, but maybe for some it's better. You guys, thank you so much. Tom Shillue, Mike Baker, and Julie Roginsky.
I like this better than the previous segments that we did.
Okay. I didn't spoil it.
Okay.
This is for people time traveling.